Beyond the horizon, the allure of uncharted digital worlds. We are living in an era defined by vast, sprawling digital landscapes. The term open world has become synonymous with blockbuster success, with publishers pouring hundreds of millions of dollars into creating ever larger maps for players to traverse. We think we know them all. The fantasy realms of The Witcher 3, Fallout, Assassin's Creed. They are magnificent, undeniable achievements in virtual world building, offering dozens, if not hundreds, of hours of content for anyone willing to dive in. But the world of games is far larger than the front page of a digital storefront. Beyond the glare of these multi-million-dollar marketing campaigns, a whole other category of open worlds exists, waiting to be discovered. These are the hidden gems, the underdogs, the passion projects that, for one reason or another, never quite broke into the mainstream consciousness. They may lack the polished sheen of their AAA counterparts, or perhaps they launched at the wrong time, or maybe their core ideas were just a little too unconventional for a mass audience. These worlds are not lesser for their obscurity. In fact, their uniqueness is often their greatest strength. It is a countdown of 5 such games, each offering a unique and compelling open world that has been unfairly overlooked. We will explore what makes these settings so special, from their ambitious mechanics to their unforgettable atmospheres. These are not just big maps, they are places with a distinct soul, crafted with a vision that prioritizes depth over sheer scale. These are the worlds that might not have sold millions, but have captured the hearts of those dedicated few who found them. This is an invitation to look beyond the familiar horizon and discover the wonders that lie in wait. Prepare to chart some new territory. We are not just looking at games, we are looking at destinations, each with its own culture, its own dangers, and its own stories to tell. The 5 worlds on this list offer experiences you simply cannot find anywhere else, proving that sometimes the most memorable adventures are the ones you have to seek out. They are a testament to the creativity and resilience of developers who dared to build something different. So, grab your compass and prepare to explore, because there are entire worlds out there you've never seen. Countdown 5. Elex, a world forged in contradiction. Our countdown begins with a world born from a cataclysm. A comet strike shattered a technologically advanced civilization, but it also brought Elex, the planet's strange, powerful element. Elex, fueling advanced technology. Elex, enabling potent magic. Elex, creating horrific mutations in the planet's wildlife. The result is a bizarre and compelling fusion of genres. Knights in medieval armor wielding plasma rifles. Druidic outcasts using magic to regrow the blighted land. The world feels special because of its stark, uncompromising divisions. Society has fractured into distinct factions. The Berserkers, in their wooden fortress of Goliath, rejecting tech for magic and nature. The Clerics, hidden in a high-tech volcanic dome, worshipping technology. The Outlaws, living in a desert scrap-heap city of anarchy and freedom. The world doesn't just look different, it plays by different rules. A key gameplay highlight, the jetpack, given early on. It's not unlimited flight, it's tactical repositioning and vertical exploration. That locks you out of other questlines and skill trees, making each playthrough distinct. So why did this ambitious world remain a hidden gem? On release, Elex was undeniably rough around the edges. Combat felt clunky and unforgiving to many players, and bugs and performance issues soured the first impression. For new players, a crucial tip: embrace the weakness. In the beginning, you are nothing. Avoid fights you cannot win. Use your jetpack to escape, and focus on talking to people and doing small quests to build your strength. Countdown 4. The Long Dark. The Quiet Apocalypse. Imagine a world where the only enemy is the world itself. The Long Dark, specifically its open-world hinterlands mode, drops you into the frigid, desolate wilderness of the Canadian North after a mysterious geomagnetic event has silenced all technology. There are no zombies, no mutants, and no warring factions. There is only you, the biting cold, and the indifferent expanse of snow-covered forests, frozen lakes, and derelict buildings. The world of Great Bear Island is vast, beautiful, and utterly lethal. The rustling of trees, the howl of the wind, and the distant cry of a wolf are the only sounds. What makes this world feel so alive is its sheer indifference to your existence. It operates on its own brutal, realistic logic. A blizzard can roll in without warning, turning a simple supply run into a desperate fight for survival. A wolf doesn't just attack, it stalks you, its behavior dictated by your scent and its own hunger. The world's story is not told through grand cutscenes but whispered through the items left behind. A frozen corpse clutching a faded photograph, a note scrawled in a remote cabin, or the layout of a campsite that suggests a tragedy. Every discovery feels earned and personal, making you a quiet archaeologist of a silent apocalypse. The core gameplay highlights are its meticulously designed survival systems. You are not just managing a health bar. You are balancing calories, hydration, fatigue, and body temperature. Every single action, from breaking down a crate for firewood to mending your torn clothes, costs precious time and energy. Another highlight is the exploration itself. With no map marker for your position, navigation becomes a skill you must learn by studying landmarks, following power lines, and using charcoal to sketch your own maps. This creates an unparalleled sense of place and accomplishment as you slowly master the unforgiving landscape, turning a hostile territory into a familiar home. The Long Dark remained a niche title, largely because it defies the conventions of the modern action-oriented gamer. It is deliberately slow, methodical, and often punishing. In an industry that thrives on constant stimulation and instant gratification, a game that asks you to spend 10 minutes boiling water, for anyone brave enough to venture into this frozen world, the most important tip is to always have a plan B. Never leave your shelter without emergency supplies. A few matches, a flare, and a snack bar can be the difference between life and a cold, lonely death. Section 4. Countdown 3. Kingdoms of Amalur: Re-Reckoning. A symphony of color and combat. Breaking from the grim and the desolate, our next stop is the vibrant, high-fantasy world of the Feylands. Kingdoms of Amalur: Reckoning, later re-released as Re-Reckoning, is an explosion of color and imagination. Conceived by R.A. Salvatore and Todd McFarlane, its world is a stark contrast to the gritty realism that dominated fantasy RPGs of its time. Forests glow with bioluminescent fungi, cities with whimsical, sweeping architecture, the immortal Fae and their beautiful, dangerous courts. The world feels less like a grim medieval simulation and more like a living, breathing fairy tale. The special quality of Amalur's world lies in its sheer density and its sense of boundless optimism, even in the face of a great war. The map is not an empty expanse, but is absolutely packed with things to do. Every few steps, you will stumble upon side quests, hidden grottos, lore stones detailing the world's deep history, unique characters with stories to tell. This density creates a feeling of endless discovery where traveling from one point to another inevitably leads to a dozen delightful distractions. It is a world that constantly rewards curiosity, making exploration an intoxicating loop of discovery and adventure. Its most celebrated gameplay highlight is undeniably the combat system. Designed by one of the lead combat designers for The Elder Scrolls FU, Oblivion, it blends the tactical depth of an RPG with the fluid, combo-driven action of a character action game like God of War. Chaining together spells, dagger strikes, massive hammer blows is fast, responsive, and visually spectacular. Another key feature is the Destiny system, which allows you to freely respec your entire character build at any time for a small fee. This encourages constant experimentation with the game's vast skill trees, letting you switch to a pure mage, a stealthy rogue, a heavily armored warrior whenever you please. Kingdoms of Amalur should have been a massive hit, so why is it on this list? Its failure was a matter of tragic timing and circumstance. It was the first and only game from 38 Studios, a company that famously collapsed into bankruptcy just months after the game's release. Taking any chance of marketing DLC a sequel with it, it launched into a crowded market and, despite good reviews, was quickly forgotten in the financial implosion of its parent company. For new players jumping into the Re-Reckoning version, a simple tip is to embrace the side quests. They are not just filler. Many contain some of the best writing and world building the game has to offer. Section 5. Countdown 2. Kenshi, the unforgiving sandbox. If most open-world games cast you as the hero, Kenshi casts you as a nobody, and it is glorious. Developed over 12 years, largely by a single person, Kenshi is less of a game and more of a brutal, post-apocalyptic world simulator. The setting is a vast, sword-punk wasteland, a barren expanse of acidic rain, roving cannibals, oppressive city-states. There is no central storyline, no chosen one prophecy. You start as just another person, weak and penniless, and the game simply asks, what will you do to survive? The world is harsh, ugly, and utterly indifferent to you, which is precisely what makes it so compelling. Kenshi's special sauce is its unmatched player freedom within a functioning, systemic world. You are not the center of the universe. You are a tiny cog in a massive, uncaring machine. Factions go to war with or without your input. Trade caravans travel their routes and can be ambushed by bandits. Towns can be wiped out or taken over by new rulers based on dynamic world states that you can influence but never fully control. This creates a world that feels truly alive and independent. You can become a lone wanderer, a master thief, a humble farmer, a powerful warlord leading an army, or simply food for a pack of skimmers. The choice is terrifyingly and liberatingly yours. One of its defining gameplay highlights is the squad-based, real-time, strategy-infused RPG mechanics. You do not just control one character. You can recruit a whole squad of followers, each with their own skills and personalities. You can construct a fortified outpost from scratch anywhere in the desolate wilderness, researching new technologies, farming crops, mining resources, and crafting weapons and armor to become a self-sufficient powerhouse. This transforms the game from a personal survival story into a grand strategy epic of your own making. The reason Kenshi has remained a cult classic rather than a mainstream phenomenon is obvious from the first glance. It is not pretty. Its graphics are dated. Its user interface is complex and often obtuse, and it has an incredibly steep learning curve that is actively hostile to new players. Many are turned off by the initial hours of being beaten, robbed, and left for dead, before they can grasp the game's profound depth. The single most important tip for a new player is to fail forward. Getting beaten unconscious is not a game over. It is how your toughness stat increases. Losing a limb is not the end. It is an opportunity to get a powerful robotic replacement. Embrace the struggle. It is the core of the experience. Trust me on that. Section 6. Countdown 1. The Yakuza series, a universe in a city block. At the top of our list is a series that redefines the very concept of an open world. The Yakuza games and their sister series, Judgment, do not offer sprawling continents or endless wilderness. Instead, they present meticulously detailed, densely packed urban districts, primarily the fictional Tokyo neighborhood of Kamurocho. These maps are, by modern standards, tiny. You can run from one end to the other in just a couple of minutes, yet they feel more alive, more vibrant, and more full of possibility than worlds 100 times their size. Every street, every alley, every storefront is bursting with life, activity, and secrets waiting to be found. The magic of a Yakuza world is its unparalleled density and its heartfelt humanity. The streets are not just corridors between objectives. They are destinations in themselves. You can walk into a Club Sega arcade and play fully realized classic arcade games for hours. You can go to a karaoke bar, a batting cage, a mahjong parlor, or a hostess club. The cities are filled with hundreds of sub-stories, short, often hilarious, surprisingly poignant side quests involving the district's quirky inhabitants. This blend of high-stakes crime drama in the main plot and absurd slice-of-life comedy in its side content creates a world with incredible tonal range, making it feel like a real, breathing place populated by actual people. The gameplay highlights are as varied as the world itself. The main series traditionally features visceral, brawling combat, allowing you to use everything from fists to traffic cones to bicycles as weapons in spectacular street fights. In a brilliant twist, the recent entry Yakuza, Like a Dragon, completely reinvented this with a turn-based JRPG combat system, proving the world is flexible enough to support entirely different genres. But the true highlight is the staggering variety of mini-games. From managing a real estate empire or a cabaret club to racing pocket cars, these are not just distractions. They are deep, compelling systems that could be entire games in their own right. For years, the Yakuza series remained a niche, hidden gem in the West, largely due to a perception that it was too Japanese for a global audience. Early localizations were spotty, and marketing often misrepresented it as a simple, grim Grand Theft Auto clone focused solely on organized crime. Players who gave it a chance discovered something far weirder, funnier, more heartfelt. It was only with the success of Yakuza 0 and Like a Dragon that the series finally broke into the mainstream. For newcomers, the best tip is simple: get distracted. If you see a weirdly dressed person on the street. Section 7. The Cartographer's Call: Why These Hidden Worlds Endure. The 5 games we have explored are more than just footnotes in gaming history. They are powerful reminders that an open world's greatness is not measured in square kilometers, but in the richness of its ideas and the strength of its soul. Elex shows us a world can be compelling by embracing its contradictions. The Long Dark proves that a world without monsters can be the most terrifying of all. Kingdoms of Amalur demonstrates that joy and color have a place even in a war-torn land. Kenshi teaches us that the most memorable stories are the ones we write ourselves, free from any guiding hand. And Yakuza reveals that a single city block can contain more life than an entire continent. These worlds endure because they offer something that the biggest blockbusters often cannot: a singular, uncompromising vision. They were not designed by committees to appeal to the broadest possible demographic. They were crafted by smaller, passionate teams who wanted to build a specific kind of place and a specific kind of experience. This focus gives them a distinct personality, a unique texture that stays with the player long after the credits roll. They are the interactive equivalent of a cult film or a local band. They may not have the biggest audience, but their fans are among the most dedicated you will find anywhere. Finding these hidden gems requires a small shift in perspective. It means looking beyond the top seller lists and the massive marketing events. It involves trusting a recommendation from a friend, taking a chance on a game with an unusual art style, reading reviews from smaller, independent outlets. It requires patience, the willingness to push through a clunky interface or a steep learning curve. Many of these worlds do not reveal their brilliance in the first hour. They ask for a little faith from the player, promising a reward that is well worth the initial investment of time and effort. Ultimately, the call to adventure is a call to explore the unknown. While the well-trodden paths of mainstream gaming offer comfort and familiarity, the greatest sense of discovery comes from venturing into uncharted territory. Pick one of these worlds, the one that sparks your curiosity the most, and give it a chance. Walk its streets, learn its rules, listen to its stories. You might just find that the most unforgettable journeys are not the ones advertised on billboards, but the ones hidden just out of sight, waiting quietly for a curious traveler to arrive. The map is full of blank spaces. It is time to start filling them in.